Hi and welcome to the Specific Ask. आज मेरे साथ मेरे दोस्त शशांक गर्ग है. He's a founder of Matsyaveda herbals. I've known him for a long number of years now. In fact, we are close to 20 years of friendship today. Hi Shashank.
Hi,
Good to have you, man.
thank you for having me here.
भाई एक बात बता मुझे पहले सबसे पहले शुरू करते ही. I've known you all more or less half of your life, maybe more than half of your life, right?
Right, right,
You were a techie before. You were in the US. You worked for many years there. And now you're
right.
back in India. You've been working in Ayurveda and Ayurvedic supplements. How did you get into this business?
So, I actually did my master's in computer science.
Okay.
I studied in Los Angeles for 2 years.
Yeah.
Then I moved from Los Angeles to San Francisco.
Yeah.
I worked in Silicon Valley as a techie,
Mm.
as a mobile engineer
Yeah.
for 7 years.
Yeah.
And then, in 2015, I believe I decided that, I want to move back to
Back to
India.
Mm.
And I have always been wanting to move back. It's just that, I needed some kind of trigger.
Mm.
So what happened was in 2015 Jan,
Yeah.
my dad's elder brother, he passed away of an heart attack.
Okay.
And he was, traveling to Lucknow from Delhi. He was in the train and he got a heart attack and he passed away.
Mm.
He had no prior, history of heart disease.
Okay.
But he was highly diabetic and he collapsed. And that was the trigger point for me to, take the decision and move back to India.
Be close to your family.
Yeah. So in 2015, I decided that, I'm going to move back.
Yeah.
So I quit my job in San Francisco. I made a move. I moved to India.
Mm.
So that was a triggering point.
Yeah.
But then when I moved to India,
Yeah.
I got highly asthmatic. I
Okay.
could not sustain the weather conditions in Delhi.
Mm.
And I tried a lot of inhalers, antihistamines. I was constantly on those antibiotics.
Yeah.
But, it was taking a toll on my body.
Yeah.
So finally, I decided that, I have to do some drastic changes in my lifestyle.
Okay.
And that led to, me starting yoga, some cleansing practices like, Jal Niti,
Yeah, of course.
then your Kunjal Kriya.
Mm.
And I also, took some Ayurvedic medicines that was prepared by my mother.
Yeah.
And that basically, completely healed my system in 6 months.
Wow.
So now it's been 7 years? It's 2023. I moved back in 2015.
Yeah.
I haven't had any experience of asthma anymore.
Yeah.
So obviously, there was a strong background in the house as well, because my mother comes from that background. She's a yoga teacher and an Ayurveda acharya for last 30 years.
Yeah.
So, that has always been there. So we wanted to leverage that knowledge and created a brand out of it.
Are you faring well during the pollution times?
Yeah. Now, I can breathe Delhi's air. I mean, without any problems.
Yeah.
I can survive. I don't need any medication or
Great.
anything.
Great.
Every alternate weekend, I basically, do all my kriyas like
Okay.
Kunjal Kriya, Jal Niti, and Sutra Niti.
Okay.
And that has been a blessing to me.
Brilliant.
And I think if anyone is suffering from asthma or any breathing issues,
Yeah.
if you can just introduce these 3 cleansing techniques in your lifestyle, that will make your life a lot better.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Ayurveda was founded in India, right?
Right.
It belongs to India in a very major way.
Right.
Ayurveda के होने के बावजूद, why do you think that India is still the most diabetic country in the world?
See, what has happened in last few years is is like, there's a lot of dispensable income.
Yeah.
India is growing economically.
Yeah.
People have money now to spend. So our lifestyle has actually changed a lot. We have started spending a lot on food, on junk food. Our lifestyle is completely messed up, so that's why I believe that, India is now the world diabetes, like the diabetes capital of the world.
Okay.
And the major reason is the diet.
Okay.
Diabetes, type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease.
Yeah.
It is not something that you acquired by birth, right?
Yeah.
This happened to you over a period of time. So
Mm.
obviously there was something wrong in your lifestyle that triggered that disease in you.
Okay.
So if you can fix your lifestyle, diabetes can be 100% reversed.
Really?
Yeah.
You're saying अगर हमने अपने if we basically change our lifestyle to make it go bad, we can change it back again and rewind and go
Yeah,
back to being
yeah,
diabetic.
yeah.
We'll be diabetes free.
Yeah.
It can be totally
Type 2
reversed.
diabetes can actually be reversed.
Okay.
A lot of people think that it cannot be reversed. And in fact, I would say a lot of people want you to think that it cannot be reversed because, there's a $210 billion annual industry, pharma industry that runs on diabetes.
Okay.
Do you think they want to shut that down? I don't think so.
I know what you mean.
So, it is actually a lifestyle disease. It
Yeah.
can be reversed completely just by fixing your lifestyle.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay.
You make some basic changes in your diet and your, exercise routine, and you can absolutely manage it very well.
Yeah. When you say there's a whole big pharma business surviving on the disease called diabetes, especially majorly we're talking about India, तो हम इंडिया की बात कर रहे हैं. But if there is a huge industry that is being supported by it, do you think that industry is also a reason that it is still going on and people are not realizing to what their lifestyle should be like and they don't follow the correct practices? Maybe they are being misled in some way?
See, absolutely. I think it's the combination of the food industry and the pharma industry.
Okay.
They, for example, breakfast was never supposed to be the most important meal.
Yeah.
But Kellogg's introduced your cornflakes.
Yeah.
And their tagline is that, breakfast is your most important meal. So we started taking cornflakes early in the morning. If you were to ask me hypothetically, not that, you're going to ask me that question, but let's say you ask me that, give me a diet, Shashank, that can cause diabetes in me.
Give me a diet that can cause diabetes in me.
Yeah, that's hypothetically, right?
Yeah,
Not that you're going to ask me that question.
But it's a good question, right? So,
but if I were to answer your question, I would ask you to go on American Diabetes website, association website,
okay,
and check the dietary guidelines there.
Okay.
They mention that for your breakfast, you should start with orange juice,
Okay.
oatmeal with honey, and crushed brown sugar.
For your breakfast.
For your breakfast.
Okay.
Now,
all those things have sugar in them.
All those things have high glycemic carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Which will spike your sugar levels.
Yeah.
And that will make your body insulin dependent.
Okay.
So
people are being misled into it? At least the information out there seems to be like that. Right?
Exactly.
So there's a whole industry being supported by the fact that people have diabetes. They should become dependent on insulin a little more, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that says a lot. And do we have certain institutes or associations in India which are actually guiding us here in India? क्योंकि हम शायद अमेरिकन डायबिटीज इंस्टीट्यूट या एसोसिएशन को तो फॉलो नहीं करते होंगे.
I think it's pretty much the same here in India as well.
Yeah.
It's the same set of pharmaceutical companies that are operating in India and outside India.
Yeah.
So, end of the day, they want to make a business out of it. They want to make money out of it. So, obviously, they don't want to shut this down.
And India is a huge market. The biggest.
India is now the most populous country in the world.
Yeah.
If you look at, the reports published by ICMR in India, 100 million people are already diabetic in India.
Yeah.
And 136 million people are pre-diabetic.
Okay.
So India is essentially the diabetes capital of the world.
And of course, a huge market, and all these big pharmas, they want to tap into that.
This is a massive market. Even, if you can just make a good product for diabetes, you can make millions out of it.
Yeah, I'm sure. बहुत basic सवाल I want to ask you, like something like what spikes the sugar in our blood? Because I then want to ask you how you said we can control or we can completely reverse type 2 diabetes, right? So I want to sort of get into that direction with you.
हाँ, हाँ.
पहली चीज तो वो जो blood में spike होता है sugar का, what are the primary causes and how does it happen? Like, is it just the consumption of sugar or can it be stress also? Can it be something else?
See, it's more than the sugar. Body needs natural sugar.
Mhm.
So it's not that, the sugar will cause the glucose spike.
Yeah.
It's the body needs natural sugar, right? If you take the sugar that we get out of sugar cane,
Mhm.
it is absolutely fine. It's only when you process that sugar cane
Yeah.
and make processed sugar out of it and
Yeah.
consume that is bad for the body.
Okay.
So it's not the sugar that causes diabetes. It's obviously, your bad lifestyle, the stress levels, especially, these days. We see people in their 20s who are highly diabetic, and it's, anxiety, stress. Yeah.
And you say natural sugar, right?
Yeah,
You said natural sugar is
natural sugar in your fruits,
Yeah.
natural sugar that you
It's
get out
already
of
there.
sugar cane.
Yeah, it's
Body
already there.
needs that.
हमारे जो देसी चीज़ें होती थी, राइट, और दादीज नानीज दे यूज टू कंज्यूम वो जो नेचुरल शुगर या शक्कर होती थी या हमारे घरों में वो सब होता था, इवन दैट इज शुगर बट अ लिटिल बिट दैट इज स्टिल प्रोसेस्ड बट नॉट टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइज्ड शुगर दैट वी यूज टुडे, राइट?
Exactly. So, we are not opposed to jaggery.
Yeah.
Now, in India, we have a concept of eating jaggery after food.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is actually, in fact, helpful in digestion.
Yeah.
It doesn't cause diabetes,
Yeah.
but because it is natural.
You've mentioned what kind of sugar sort of spikes the glucose levels in our blood. Can we control the spike? Okay, one part is not consuming a lot of sugar.
Right.
Is there a way to eat proper? Is there a way to eat healthier?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, if you can choose the order in which you consume your ingredients,
Okay.
you can reduce your sugar spikes by almost 75%. And that order is veggies first, proteins and fats second, starch and sugar should be your last.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a thumb rule for all the
Yeah,
meals that you
yeah,
have.
Yeah.
Be
If
it
you-
breakfast, be it lunch, be it
Yeah.
dinner. Okay. People are dieting a lot these days. Everybody wants to, shed weight. Everybody wants to, look better. They want to look good, right? Us daran mein we take advice of our dietitians and everything. Of course, fiber is a big part of the diet and proteins are a big part of the diet. But how important is the order? You've mentioned the order of eating it. How does it matter if you're consuming the right amount of fiber, the right amount of proteins? How does it matter what is the order?
So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Let's say you eat that Snickers chocolate
Okay, yeah.
first thing in the morning.
Okay.
That's the first thing that goes into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
So imagine what's happening. The sugar that's there in the chocolate gets straight into the bloodstream without any obstruction.
Okay.
And your glucose level spikes like crazy. Instead, if you eat something and then take chocolate, it's gonna stay on the top. It's not gonna get mixed directly into the bloodstream.
Okay.
It will go more slowly,
Okay.
and that will reduce your sugar spikes.
But the food that you're eating before,
Yeah,
like the fiber that you're taking or the protein
yeah.
rich diet that you're taking,
Uh-huh.
all food has a little bit of sugar, right? All food has a little bit of
So natural sugar is no problem, right? I am talking about your processed sugar.
Yeah. I know what you
Even
mean.
if you consume, even if you want to consume anything that's sweet in taste, keep it after a meal.
Okay. Interesting. Dessert after
Yes,
the main meal
after
and the
a
main
meal.
course. So there is a way that you
Right.
create the order. Great.
See, in India, it is always said that, or as per Ayurveda,
Yeah.
the combination is important. The combination of foods that you're eating is important. It's not just about dieting that, you starve yourself and that will, make you look good or stay healthy.
Yeah.
If you eat the right ingredients in the right order and the combination is right, I think you can stay healthy.
Shashank, हम लोग we read about diet pretty much every day. We see a bunch of videos there. We consume a lot of data online as well, and in newspapers and the media that we read. Right? There's a whole movement away from milk these days.
Right.
There's a whole movement away from wheat,
Uh-huh.
and of course, sugar is a part of it. Uh, any inputs there, which helps somebody who can reverse diabetes or looking to reverse diabetes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think what we suggest, if you can remove 3 whites, 3 W's from your life,
Okay.
you can actually be very healthy. One is sugar, it's white.
Yeah.
Wheat is white. Milk is white.
Okay. If we
For
avoid,
these three,
Hmm.
then 90% of your diseases can be just cured without any medication. And
Right.
for the rest 10%, you can actually get a
Right.
get
Yeah, I know what you mean. You said you were talking about pre-diabetic numbers and diabetic numbers in India. Of course, since you're in the business of manufacturing Ayurvedic medicines and supplements, you must have done some research on it. And I've also, this was a time when I was not well, a couple of years back, right? So I was borderline diabetic. I was pre-diabetic in a way, right? I realized that when I was pre-diabetic, I wanted to eat more sugar. I wanted to eat something sweet. My body was craving it. Is that a fact that when you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, your body craves more sugar?
yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
So even when you are pre-diabetic or when you're sick, your body craves for sugar.
Okay.
And that is exactly when I think you should try
And
to
stop.
avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that can be a good trigger, right?
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
want to eat more sweet, then your body's telling you
Right,
something and you should
right.
read the signs.
Exactly.
Interesting. Great. Lastly, I just wanted to ask you, like, we are all fighting against diabetes, right? Uh, you mentioned something that happened in your family also in 2015. What is the actual effect of diabetes to a human body?
See, there are multiple consequences.
Yeah.
I would say very um, grave consequences
Hmm.
that diabetes can induce in your body.
Okay.
For example, in men, specifically in men, it induces erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
And essentially, the science is very simple. When you're diabetic, your blood becomes thicker, and the blood flow doesn't happen properly. So you would have seen there are a lot of people who are diabetic and they complain about they have numbness in their feet,
Yeah.
burning sensation in their feet, frequent urination,
Yeah.
or blurriness in the eyes.
Hmm.
The blood has become thicker. Now the blood flow doesn't happen properly.
Hmm.
So that's what leads to all these problems.
Yeah.
And again, as I mentioned, my uncle, he was highly diabetic,
Yeah.
but he passed away of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of diabetes, the blockages were getting developed in the arteries.
Hmm.
So diabetes, it appears to be, people take it casually, but I think it's one of the most deadly diseases out there.
Yeah.
One more thing that I want to add here
Yeah.
is cancer loves sugar.
Okay.
Cancer cells absorbs 15 times more sugar than a normal cell.
Okay.
So we should try, basically cancer likes acidic environment in the body.
Okay.
And we want to make our body alkaline as much as possible.
Okay.
So my suggestion, to people in general is that keep your body alkaline
Okay.
and you'll stay healthy overall in general.
How does one do that? With your
Just
dietary?
just avoid acidic foods.
Okay.
Make your body more alkaline.
Hmm.
Why do you think people in India store water in a copper container?
Yeah.
Because it makes the water alkaline, and when you consume that water, your
Yeah.
body becomes alkaline.
Shashank, it's been 4 years now that you've been manufacturing Ayurvedic medicines, right? Kya scene hai? What's your vision for our country towards Ayurveda and everything? What's your drive towards it, and what are you planning?
See, our vision is very simple. Swasth Bharat.
Okay.
We want to make people of India healthy.
Yeah.
And I think one place where we think we lack is we do not educate kids in school about nutrition. It should be introduced in schools to kids, as a course,
Yeah.
as a subject.
Yeah.
And we understand we are into the manufacturing of Ayurvedic medicines business, but that is one part of it. Other than that, we really want to focus on, educating people
Yeah.
so that people can,
Of course,
avoid.
awareness is very important, and for uh, uh, part of the reason why people don't go for good practices is because they don't even know that they exist.
Exactly.
So there is
Yeah.
a whole ideology fed to us for a huge number of years, and we start following that dogma for a number of years. When you talk about kids in school and teaching them, of course, bunch of kids are given meals in their schools, right? That meal program is there. Even that meal program, even though anybody can say that it is a balanced diet or whatever, it is usually not. I've seen, especially in my daughter's school, uh, they get a junk food day every week.
Yes, I know. I mean, I don't want to name the schools here,
Yeah, same.
but they are serving junk food, burgers, and pizzas,
Yeah.
for lunch.
Yeah.
To a 6-year-old. Now imagine what's going to happen 10 years down the line.
No, it's part of the reason is also because that it's easier for the kid to eat, right? Because that's appealing to the child.
Right.
But if you feed them healthy food, they don't probably understand it. But if you tell them what is what and why you giving it to them, if you tell them this is good for you, maybe, I don't know, you can always shape a mind early on, right? Uh, Thank you, Shashank, for this information, for this valuable information that you've shared with us today. Thank you for the time. I will keep bugging you because I want to learn more about Ayurveda. Number one, I want to understand the kind of impact Ayurveda can actually have on the Indian population because it comes from our roots. I think we owe it to ourselves and our sciences to actually learn them better because school में तो नहीं पढ़ाया जाता हमें ये. Secondly, we've covered diabetes today. Maybe we can pick up another aspect in another session with you. And if you have any questions for Shashank, please write to me at the specific ask at gmail.com. You can, of course, comment in the video section, and we'll be posting some reels from the same. You can also comment and reach out to me there. Thank you for listening in. Have a great day.